Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Speakeasy. I'm your barkeeper, Jeff Belanger, and I'm really glad you're here because this is the place where we can all kind of hang out, get through the day, and all that other stuff. Please like and share. Start your watch parties right now so others can join us here in the Speakeasy where there's never a cover and we don't card anyone because how could we, right? I mean, you could hold your license up to the camera, but I wouldn't see it. So I'm just going to have to trust you all that you're having a good week. Please check in. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what you're drinking tonight. I am having, from Lord Hobo, just outside of Boston, a $5 milkshake. And you can see, it's a little bit of a nod to Pulp Fiction. You can see the people there dancing on the can. It is a strawberry milkshake IPA. I've had them before, and it's absolutely delicious. So cheers to you guys. I'm excited about tonight because I haven't talked to this guy in, I think, years. It's been a long time. And we have a lot in common. Let me just finish pouring this. Not easy being a one-man band. First of all, we have a lot in common because back in the mid-90s, both of us had long hair. And that's me. Look at that. Look at that long hair, right? Both of us had long hair. And both of us were like wicked into the X-Files. Like we have that in common. Except one of us, only one of us, take that off. Only one of us was actually on the show. I'm going to let you try to guess which one. It's not going to be that hard. So please, you may remember him looking like this. If you were an X-Files fan like me, look at that. Remember Langley? Please welcome from Michigan, Dean Haglund.
Michigan?
That's where you are, right?
I am here. I'm here in the pure Michigan state. I don't know what our motto is even. That's embarrassing.
Michiganders.
You're
Michiganders. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend. Good to see you. Clash.
Good to be seen. What are you drinking there?
Well, I am drinking also a milkshake stout. Look at this. This is a beer from the Rochester Mills Beer Company. No endorsement here. But what's odd is they actually use, I don't know, can you read the ingredients? They're using lactose, milk sugars. So if you're lactose intolerant, do not drink this beer. It's basically cocoa nibs and milk sugars. And part of the fun of this lockdown is I really got into making ice cream.
Did you?
Oh my God. I have gone off a deep end on ice cream making. It's the most ridiculous thing.
Have you put on the COVID-19, which of course is the 19 pounds?
I have, but I also got a puppy Doberman who has to go 5 to 7 miles a day because it's high energy dog. So well, I'm at a maintenance. Yeah, look at that thing there. That is a blue Doberman.
Beautiful.
I know. And she is, 18? That's at 16 months. She's carrying a tree on her own, just running around with an entire tree.
That's a redwood, I think.
I know.
I'm not a tree expert.
I know. I think she's got her own forestry company coming up. Yeah.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful. So she keeps the ice cream weight off.
Keeps the ice cream weight off. I mean, we have to, we still get up at 5:36 a.m. We start our hour outside and then the ice cream starts after that. So
that's wonderful. So Dean, I want to tell the story of the first time we met. You probably don't remember it because I was it was on the Queen Mary, actually, in Long Beach.
Yeah.
And it was a Dave Schrader event, Darkness Radio.
Radio.
You were doing your improv show.
Yeah.
And the important part of the story is that I had my cell phone. These are they flipped back then. Remember those?
Yes.
And I had one that was so new, it could play special ringtones that you could buy for like $2 or something.
Oh.
So anyway, phone's in my front pocket. And I'm like, dude, I got to meet Dean Haglund. And I walk up and I was like, Dean, it's really great to meet you. Just as I'm getting a phone call. And the important part of the story here is that my ringtone
was the X-Files theme song.
The X-Files.
I totally remember that.
And I'm like, I swear I'm not a crazy stalker, dude. Sorry about that.
And I thought you totally set that up.
No.
I thought, oh, well, that's a funny gag.
It was probably my mom, too. Like, right?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, those Queen Mary events, those were fun, weren't they?
Totally fun. And that was, I mean, you know, what's crazy to me is like, I'm in this, right? So like I do paranormal stuff and I'm in and out. You played a character that was in this.
Right.
And from what I understand, a little bird told me like, you've had to grapple between people who didn't understand that a world of fiction and the world of Dean Haglund.
Yeah, well, grapple. I mean, yeah, some people thought I could hack into computers. Some people thought, that there was a reality that I was into. But I did a documentary in 2009 called "The Truth Is Out There,"
Yep.
because I would go to all these conventions, and basically I had a camera crew follow me around the world for a year.
I remember that.
Yeah. You remember that? Yeah. And it was like, oh, and so there wasn't any take on it. It was just sort of listening to everybody. And the funny thing is, when you listen to them, they sort of drop their guard and sort of get into why they got into this and sort of thing. Because everybody's always like, oh, you're going to prank me in this video or something like that. And it was like, no, chillax, man. What's your story? What are you talking about? And it was like, it's sort of a fun search for the truth. It's called "The Truth Is Out There." I think you can still buy it at our podcast, chillpackhollywood.com.
Let me keep up with the shameless plug.
Yeah, there it is.
You were podcasting back when only the biggest nerds on. Now everybody has a podcast. Your dog, I'm sure, has his own podcast, her own podcast now. But you were doing it it was not cool at all when you started.
14
cool.
years ago.
And
well, there was a first wave, actually. There was this bizarre first wave that we were kind of on the back bell curve, I would say, on it. Right. And all of those guys dropped off. There was a lot of comedians. Comedians realized it's a pain in the ass showing up every week, burning through your material. What the hell? Once you interview all your friends, you realize you only have 20 friends. That's 20 episodes.
20? Dude, you have a lot of friends.
So it all collapses. But it was, I had a office next to Phil Lairness, who was at that time the president of a distribution company, foreign distribution of films. So every Monday morning we get together and talk about movies we saw the weekend, stuff like that. And our intern in the office went, "Oh my God, this is fascinating. You guys should record this and put it up." And so actually here now, we're on our 14th year. And basically, it's a production meeting that we record. So
and still together, and marriages don't last that long.
I know. I've seen him through how many 3-4 relationships. He's now married. He's seen me through at least 3. So that's a long term. We call ourselves heterosexual life partners. That's
fair.
That's fair.
Look, so Danielle, why did you get into the paranormal? Because I'll tell you what, I'm going to answer that. I don't need you. I don't even need you here. I got this. So, Danielle, here's what happened. He was on this show called The X-Files. Yeah. And back in the 90s, you got to remember, right? There's the lone gunman. There they are. You can drink on camera, Dean. I saw you do that. Well, yeah, go ahead.
No, it's just timing.
Oh, all right. Let's pause.
Here's pause to you, my friend.
So lone gunman, see, back in the 90s, the world was crazy with conspiracy theories and all this other stuff. Not like today.
Not like today.
There's none left. You've solved them all.
We solved it. It's all out in the open.
So I've got to ask, is your phone ringing off the hook 24/7 going, my God, conspiracies conspiracies move from a Fox TV show to Fox News.
Yeah, I know, right?
What happened?
Well, yeah, there's moments I feel very guilty taking this to the mainstream. Yep. I'll tell you. Yeah, sometimes I go, what was my part in bringing that from a 90s underground thing to now it being a QAnon, all full on, which now I'm full on QAnon is the conspiracy, because there's no way that underground conspiracies can get that kind of traction without it being quote unquote the man. So
a conspiracy. Yeah, right. It's
the conspiracy is the conspiracy.
And I get it, right? So the way conspiracy theories work is that, first of all, you have to understand a law of physics called entropy, which is the universe is going from an ordered state to a disordered state. Right. It started with the Big Bang. Big Bang was perfect, nice round circle, and then
yeah, right.
It's been going to shit ever since. So
at a faster accelerated rate, oddly enough.
It's speeding up.
Right? Yeah.
So because the world is chaotic and dangerous and scary, we invent conspiracy theories at times to help us cope, to be like, no, there's someone in charge. I feel better. Even if they're evil.
Even if they're evil. Yeah. If there is an Illuminati, if there is a long-term plan. Jordan Maxwell has a whole thing about the Nazi cult, becoming the Nazis, becoming NASA. That it's a linear line of 2,000 years, all the way from Nazareth, which wasn't a town in the time of Jesus, was a town in 300 AD. But at the time, there's no Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus was born in a manger, not in a town. So then Nazareth becomes the Nazi, becomes the Nazis, becomes NASA. And so this is Jordan Maxwell's long game, right? So yeah, if you have to adhere to the idea that there is a larger plan, it comforts you that we're all not just crazy monkeys in a chaotic universe randomly doing stuff because no one knows what's going on. That's more terrifying.
That's more and the other thing is that the internet, especially like Facebook and social media, has allowed us to all get in little groups. Like, I
know.
So like, hey, I have the same crazy as you. Let's get together and find others. And then suddenly we think we're all right.
Well, and this, I think, is where we should all take improv classes. Every person should.
I'm ready.
Okay. I think we should take improv classes because it allows you to stand in the unknown and the chaos and still be centered and gravitated, right? So that you are not panicking. You're not going, oh my God, I got to glom onto this guy. Oh, somebody else thinks like me. We all got to stick together and everything else is terrible. You know, what improv teaches you is to say yes to everything. But it also teaches you that to step into the void, to step into the complete unknown, to go on stage. You know, my one-man show where I did, you've seen it.
I've seen it.
Yeah. If I were to think to myself, I'm going to go on stage without a script for an entire hour and get laughs, I would freak myself out.
Yeah.
But if I go, I'm going to talk to the audience. I'm going to get somebody up on stage with me. We're going to do this structured scene, but there's no script. He's going to do random crazy stuff. I don't know. He may be drunk, whatever. But if I keep breathing through the crazy.
Yeah.
Hold my beer.
Right. Go on. Sorry. That was funny.
Right.
You work through the crazy. Yeah, that's improv.
Work through the crazy, and that's improv. And I think everybody right now should take a class, just allow them to stand in the void and to allow the crazy without panicking like everybody seems to be doing. Right?
Dean, we're going to give them a class right now. Folks, give us a scene, set us up. I've taken improv classes.
You have too. I know.
Right now. Let's go.
Oh my God.
Give us a scene. No, not you. I'm going to post. They'll post. Someone will post something.
Somebody will post a scene.
Give it a second. They'll give us a setup.
Okay.
Give us a place and a time, even if you want. Just
but anything but the mental institution at the Trans-Allegheny Mental in West Virginia. Oh my God! Do you remember?
We were there together.
Oh my God! The longest day of my life.
Right. We were doing Ghost Adventures Live. This was season 2. Dean Haglund was the host
on Halloween night.
I was there. Yeah, it was. Oh, wait a minute. We have a setup. We'll tell this story after. Hold on.
Okay.
I like this.
First.
I'm gonna. It says 3 conspiracy theorists walk into a Starbucks. There's only 2 of us, so let's change it.
Okay. Right. Oh. I'll be the Starbucks employee. You come in.
I'm ready.
And then we're both conspiracy theorists.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi. Welcome to Starbucks, or that's what they want you to think.
Thank you so much. I would like a grande choice soy chai latte.
Oh, you want one of those, do you?
Yes.
Okay, if you can name the past 3 Illuminati leaders, I can make you one of those.
Right, because this is off the menu. Hey,
it's off the menu.
I believe it's Dean Haglund, Chris Carter, and Jeff Belanger. That's who I heard.
Wow, I like it. Very good, sir. I'll start that for you right now.
Yes.
I think you'll appreciate the nutmeg this time of year instead of the pumpkin spice.
Yes. Oh, right. Nutmeg. So the chip in my brain is now telling me to tell you that the message is 4LQC5.
And the goose flies at midnight.
And it's a little bit hot. Can I have one of those cup holder things, please?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, we give that to everyone. There you go. Thank you.
Scene.
And scene.
Oh, we did it.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh.
see, we got through that.
Yeah.
So
It was no panic.
that was just a small, you're like, oh, I didn't think we'd be doing improv tonight.
No, I thought we do.
You
Yeah, no, I didn't think.
did. We can't do the helping hands thing from here. It's
I know. I got to change my whole show now, right?
I
This
know.
whole pandemic, I can't bring audience members up on stage. I can't have them touching me, doing that with their arms on my face anymore.
Not with that attitude. Folks, if you haven't seen
it. Not with that attitude. You're right.
Dean would do, when I saw you at the Queen Mary. So Dean did this X-Files. It was an X-Files theme. So you do like improv.
An episode of the X-Files. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was super funny, super fun. Everybody totally loved it. And how's that? I mean, are you still doing stuff in Michigan? Well, were you before?
Yeah, there's a really good Go Comedy improv group here, and it's a pretty healthy comedy scene. So I was teaching improv, doing shows at Go Comedy in Ferndale, over at Planet Ant, which is owned by Peel and Key and Peele.
Key and Peele, yeah.
Yeah. So Michigan has a real fun. Second City actually had a theater here in the 90s. Okay. And a lot of those alumni have stayed here and do incredible shows. So I was really fortunate.
Peele is amazing to me because like he does great comedy, but like probably one of the most innovative horror guys right now. Like who knew? Yeah. Right? Like
who knew? Well,
crazy good.
But it's also about that thing of going. To me, the horror, why you like horror is the same thing in improv. There's a real terror that you experience going into an unscripted theatrical moment, right? And once your relationship to terror changes, that it's not clenching, turn away, but you actually can explore it, then you can come up with some amazing horror stuff. And I think that is definitely Peele's approach to it, because he's really exploring what the terror is.
And I think that, you talked about facing your fears like on stage and the unknown and all that other stuff. When you do that, whatever thing you're afraid of, that monster gets a little smaller. It doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away. Yeah, but it does. It gets smaller, but and even it's your relationship to it, right? Everybody's relationship to your monster, to your demons. And this is always my problem with, like Pence. Oh, I'm good at things. You have all these demons that you are shunting away, that you are so not talking to, that one day will overwhelm you. If you do not have a connection to your shadow will one day take you down. So
I've always used the expression like, that those ideas and those concepts, they haunt you. And if you don't deal with them, they turn into demons, right?
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
They can show themselves in ugly ways, whether it's through addiction or whatever you're going to do to deal with it, other than deal with it. That's why I love creative people that find that outlet, because creative people are not only some of the most interesting people I know, but also just they're happy, they're free, they're dynamic. They let these ideas flow. And I'm really curious. Okay, you're going to say something profound.
No. But yeah, I'm going to answer that curious.
Go.
No, you're curious about. You may be curious about two things: how you get there, or B, what is that daily dishwashing machine like? Because absolutely, you can find joy, but you will also find terror and despair and sadness every day. That's the thing. All these emotions, if you're trained as an actor, you're trained to be connected to your emotions as an improviser. And so you're going to experience these. But if you keep breathing, it is said by most voice teachers that any emotion you experience will go away in about 20 breaths. So no matter how deep, how terrifying, whatever, you just keep breathing through it. In about 20 breaths, it transforms into something else. So you don't have to, you just, and then, so.
Someone cut that soundbite out. There's a song in there.
Totally. Absolutely. Hey, did I read somebody say good day from Australia?
Yeah, there's people from Australia. We have the UK's here, all over.
Guess Michigan. What? I was living in Sydney for the last 4 years, or 18 months ago. I was there for 4 years in Newtown, of all things.
And ironically, I grew up in Newtown, Connecticut.
That is ironic.
So what I was curious about was how you started doing art, like visual art, painting.
Yeah.
So
you can see my
fact, look at there's the
there I am.
Newtown,
Yeah, look at
Australia.
Newtown, Australia, for all crying out loud.
Look at that. So is that watercolors?
It is. I would go out every day with my dogs that I had there and stop at restaurants and sort of it's ink and watercolor. So I'd watercolor the sort of the large, and then the details would all be in sort of pen and ink sort of thing.
It's really good. Like no
matter where I sat, I would paint it. So if I was seated next to a brick wall, that would be my subject, and you just have to deal with it. So that's the brick wall I sat beside at a lovely place in Erskineville, next to Newtown. So I was always drawing and painting as a child. However, theatrical and film and television success sort of did that. But I would always basically go do stand-up and acting gigs to buy art supplies, because I would always be painting and, whatever, being creative that way. So, Newtown's trendy now. Yeah. Well, I think I made it trendy.
Grant's one of our down under folks. So, look at, you've got so beautiful.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Thank you. Yeah. Go to my Insta. Yeah. This is actually an Airedale who was famous in Australia, had 16,000 followers on Instagram, and went on the beaches of Australia. It was a gorgeous dog named Molly. Blog Molly Dog was the site. Unfortunately, this dog passed away last year. Oh. But man, I loved Molly so much. And I painted that for the owners who were friends of mine and lived up the street. So Molly would come play with our dogs. And it was like, it was dogs. That's how it happens now. See, we go through all the emotions, don't we?
We do. We've gone through all of them. My goodness. So, so the first time I met you, we were, I fanboyed because I had the X-Files call. And then we worked on this project, this Ghost Adventures Live. And it was 7 hours of live TV.
7 hours for you. I had to do 3.5 hour tech rehearsal.
Yeah, you had packages and stuff.
Half an hour before.
Yeah.
And I had to drive. They flew us through Pittsburgh.
So we had
to drive from Pittsburgh. So it is, in my mind, as one of the worst gigs ever.
Wow.
I think I sucked at it so badly. I think I brought the whole show down.
No, Dean. So by the way, that was the highest ratings at the time Travel Channel had ever had.
What? That's even worse.
No, everybody saw you, bro.
Saw me suck it. Oh my god!
No, it was fun, man. Like it was. So what was great is that. So just to set this up, we get onto the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum is huge. It's an old, huge building, and they have this thing all wired up. And so I was in like a nerve center as like the historian. Dean is the host, who's kind of like throwing back and forth between Zach and Nick and Aaron. Dave Schrader, the nerve center. And because the whole idea, like the guys would have to move from one floor to another, and you don't want to watch that on TV. It's boring, right? Let's go up the stairs, right? Like, so while they're doing that, Dean would cut to us and would sort of fill the time and talk about history. And we had some pre-done packages and stuff like that. Yeah. And what was so cool is like, I remember getting there and everybody, remember all the crew's jackets? It said Sunday Night Football. Right?
Right. That's right. Because they brought the biggest truck that they used for the Indy 500. It had the ability to lock in about 55 camera feeds, even though there was only 4 camera feeds. And I talked to a technical guy from CBS News. He said that was the worst idea. It's actually really hard if you only have 5 or 6 cameras to go into a truck that can accommodate 50 to 100 because the load goes all over the place. And sure enough, the janitor that worked at that asylum said this is the quietest night. He said, because all of this electromagnetic energy coming out of these trailer trucks are just blasting any sort of variant subtlety that you felt any other night at the asylum when he was cleaning there. So
it was still a great experience, and I loved it. No, I really did. It was super fun. And I'm going to tease you, sorry, but like you called me a different last name every single time.
I know. Well, because everybody said it's Belanger.
No, Belanger. You still did it.
I still do it because it's so French.
It's Bélanger.
Bélanger.
You're
It's
Canadian.
Jeff Bélanger.
Bélanger, comment ça va, Dean
Haglund? But yeah, then I'm going Belanger.
You know what was funny though? Everybody remembered it. Thank you.
Oh my God, so funny. I remember that guy faking.
I'll throw in the thing.
Yeah, he had that robotic ghost capturing machine.
Oh yeah, it was like it looked like Danger Will Robinson, right?
Totally,
it was like
totally. Yeah, it was a glass dome with some sort of Tesla coil thing in it, and it sparked, and then you shoot smoke in it. And then it's supposed to show some sort of apparition within inside of it because it's attracted to the electricity. And they all have their K2 meters. And the Ghost Adventures are down the hall that way. And he's facing this way.
Yep.
But he doesn't realize there is a ceiling camera looking his way. So he chucks his K2 meter down the hall going, something knocked the K2 meter out of my head. And then Dave Schrader reviews the tape, goes, he chucked it. Yeah. And then, oh my God. So then come 3 a.m., I'm told by the producers, wrap this up. It's a real fun time, good time. Thanks, everyone, for coming to Western West Virginia, the Trans-Allegheny and Lunatic Asylum. We're going to have a great time. Hey, the Ghost Adventures. And Nick just forearms me aside going, excuse me, Dean. He goes, hey, did you throw that K2 meter? And they start having an argument at 3 a.m. as the credits are rolling. Yeah. I'm just like, oh, no, this is not how to end one of these shows.
It was great. All I remember. No, it was like whatever.
I don't think it was great.
I love. See, here's the thing. I mean, you were on real produced TV for so long, like one of the best shows ever. I love the energy of live because it's authentic. And one of the things we're seeing right now during this whole like lockdown quarantine thing is networks are hungry because there's a giant gap now in production. Shows are getting canceled because like there's shows with kids on them and they can't film for a whole year. It's too much of a gap. Like. Yeah, good shows, solid shows. And so people are doing live stuff. And I love the authenticity and realness of it because I think we're craving something real.
Absolutely. We're storytellers. Yeah. Actors, performers. We feel the zeitgeist of the world and retranslate that out into stories, right? That's Chris Carter's main focus that made him the bazillionaire that he is. But when you have such a cultural shift that this is done globally, your time it takes to recalibrate what that story is, what the story is now that you want to tell, has made this very interesting shift, particularly for those who are stand-ups and who do improv and all that sort of thing, because you take the stuff of the day, right? But,
oh my God, yeah. I have friends who are stand-up comics, and they've done a couple Zoom stand-ups. Oh, I think the analogy I heard is like, it's like watching porn. It's nowhere near as good as real sex, but if it's all you can possibly have, I guess you take it, right?
You guess you take it. I know. I'm worried for stand-up because stand-up is the only art form you have to learn in front of a live audience. Yeah. You can rehearse that all you want in front of your mirror. You think you got a funny jokes, whatever. You can hone it. You can have directors look at it. You still can go out on stage with that and just bomb a horrible death, regardless of how much work you've done by yourself at home. It's the only art form, has to be in front of a live audience. So I don't know what stand-up is going to look like on the other side of this, but.
Well, I know some people too, like Dave Chappelle did this, right? Where he's on stage and people are all spread out in a big wide field.
Yeah.
But that's hard because a comedy is like a small room and the laughter fills it and it's contagious and it's a wave and you ride it and they ride it. I mean, totally. I do these programs. I do story programs in front of audiences, small audiences. I mean, it could be 50 to 100 people. And when they're that close, you can just tell when they're with you. You can tell when you have them.
You feel the energy.
You don't.
Yeah. And this is also why you want to go, right? Because you feel an energy, a connection to the stage and all that sort of thing from an audience standpoint.
Yeah.
However that's going to form and reform and is going to be fascinating. And, all of this that we've been doing, I do about 6 to 8 of these a week now. I, and that's why I'm really sorry my GoPro died on this. I got so many coming up, but your these techniques, these things that you learn in this format is going to translate over to how you work on the stage as well.
Of course, because we got to work in like this tiny little space.
Talking about my hands. What else should we talk about? Did we talk about my Doberman enough? I don't think so.
Let's start your Doberman again, and then I want to play a song, but you got to set this up for us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at Lilu. Lilu's the greatest Doberman. She's a blue Doberman. Only 10% of the Doberman pinchers come in the blue, which you get that gray-green eyes that she has. And it's not really black and tan. It is kind of the fur is a lighter color. There's still the tan marks.
Right.
But anyway.
She's a beauty.
I've never had cars pull over, get out, and stop to pet your dog. That seems...
That's not awkward.
They're strangers. And they just come out and go, oh my God, your dog's so beautiful. And they get out and like they pull over in traffic right up against the curb while you're walking your dog and jump out and pet your dog. Is that normal? Does that happen in Connecticut?
No, it doesn't. I'm in Massachusetts now, but it's okay. It doesn't happen here either. And do they get out and they're like, beautiful dog. Are you Langley from X-Files?
No. I never get that. No, they are only focused on the dog. People don't recognize me unless I'm walking the Doberman. I will go and say, oh, hey, who? You're Lilu's dad. That's how I'm known around here.
That's right.
She's 18 months old right now, and she's technically still a puppy. Dobermans have this very terrible teenage phase where they're very stubborn. They know all the commands, but they choose not to do them. So as long as you're prepared to go through a teenagehood with a dog that potentially could rip your jugular out,
Right.
So,
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Andrew wants to know if you're still painting. And yes, of course you are. Follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, follow me on it. I haven't posted anything on Instagram in a year because I just moved into the studio. So that's my watercolor side. You can't see it over there, or maybe you can. Wait. That's the oil painting side.
Nice.
Then there's a stop motion animation part over there. And I'm building a steam room as well.
That's not awkward. What the hell are you doing?
There was a bathroom in this. This is a studio over a garage, right? And
right.
It came with the house that we got when we moved here. And then it had this hot water tank, like from 1982. So the guy wanted $700 to throw it out. I'm like, screw that. And I got my wrench and I yanked it out. I go, hey, look at all this room. And then in my head, I went, I should build a steam room. And so now for the last 9 months, I'm just at tiling. It's a heated floor with a bench. It'll have rain shower and heated walls. And it's all done in rectified porcelain. So
we're going to do another one of these, but I want you live in there with
right? With the steam, because it's going to have these cool LED lights all around. Oh my God, let's do that. That'll be fantastic.
Fully functional Babe lair. Okay, so set this up for me because I actually haven't even seen it yet, and
you have not seen this
together. This is for charity,
right? So Frank Spotnitz, who was the major writer-creator with Frank and Chris of the X-Files, emailed the entire cast and crew and everybody to go, listen, the X-Files theme song never had lyrics. So we did an outreach to fans, and we've selected the best fan lyrics to the X-Files theme song, and we want you to sing it. So they sent Mark Snow, who wrote the music, sent a kind of click track so that you can listen to it in your headphones and sing along. And then they cut it all together like a Zoom party where all of us and all of our names are there, are singing the lyrics, the brand new lyrics to the X-Files theme song. And all the money that we are collecting goes to World Central Kitchen, which feeds people all through this pandemic. So yeah, do you want to see this?
So let's see this. So we'll make a few comments, but folks, grab your drinks because this is going to be
it's 4 minutes of high X-Files entertainment.
All right, are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. All right.
Is the volume up on that?
Volume's up.
Okay. Oh yeah, so it's set up. It's already scary.
You hear that, right?
Oh, yes. It's pretty quiet, but I hear it.
All right. Well, there's not much going on yet.
There's the digital texting each other.
It's like MST3K with like...
Yes, exactly. It's all dark for a long time, but then he goes into his monitor, and you'll see.
We're going to start any minute.
Okay. I'm not saying I ate
all
the same. Yeah, see? It's the way our screens used to look.
Back then.
Ah!
This is fancy.
I know, right? They spared no expense.
I know who that is.
Can we hear him?
Yeah.
There's Chris. Look at that. And he's the special effects guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hold on. Oh, geez. Oh, my God. Hold on.
What the hell? We were right into that. I was going to point out.
Someone's saying they're having trouble with sound.
Yeah, it's a little quiet on my side, too. I'm not going to lie to you.
Let me see if I can fix that here, and we'll pick it up right where we left off. Crank it, folks.
There it is.
All right.
That's what I've been looking for.
Okay.
Deep conspiracies, unsolved mysteries,
baritone.
Spooky UFO, files that have been closed. Find out if the truth is out there. Out there. The secrets they deny. Get the sauce on that. Our tale build their lives. I seek to know what's true. I trust no one but you. It's a truth we cannot see.
Hooray! So, actually, the best part's the end.
Okay. We'll get there.
Yeah. Because you haven't seen Jillian yet.
Sounds like my ringtone.
It does.
What?
And then, wait.
It's coming.
Wait, what are we doing?
We wanted to bring you a smile.
That's right.
But we also
and here's
wanted
Frank
to find
explaining
a way
World
to
Central
help
Kitchen.
So many people out there who are suffering during this pandemic.
All right, well, let's get this in.
That's why we're proud to join with the World Central Kitchen in realizing their vital mission to provide a hot meal when it's needed most, and to help bring about their beautiful dream of a world where there's always a warm meal, an encouraging word, and a helping hand in hard times. We'd love for you to help too. If you're watching this on YouTube, please click the donate button or go to the link in the description below and join us in supporting this amazing organization. Thank you.
Love it. There you go.
Isn't that fun? Of course.
WCK.org. All right.
Yeah, there you go. Of course, now you realize why there were no lyrics.
Right.
It's really slow. It's a slow tempo on that thing. And you're like, Well, it's supposed to be mysterious. You don't want to hate it, do. It's
Right.
it's a UFO. Yeah, that would have been
miss it?
ridiculous. Do I miss it? I miss the family part of it.
Yeah.
I don't miss 16-hour days. And often the gunman stuff, we were called in at like, our call time would be like 7 p.m. And then we would just stay in our trailers all through the night. And then maybe around 4 in the morning, they'd bring us in because they were doing elaborate shots before us, right? Oh, we need a UFO to come down and we need 15 aliens to run this way and all that sort of thing. And then the crew would be so exhausted, just like, okay, get the 3 in here. Okay, roll it. Was that in English? Great, let's get the hell out of here. And so that was often how we did that. This was this photo here, our very last episode, last time the 3 of us were in character together.
Aww.
On the last day. I know, right? So,
how soon did you cut your hair? How soon after were you like?
Surprisingly, I kept it for a couple years, but then I got a movie part called Soul Collector, I think it was.
Okay.
A horror movie with Marina Sirtis, and they wanted my haircut for that. So I cut it on stage at the Improv in Hollywood as a comedy bit, where I had Rick Overton, the famous Rick Overton, be a judge on if my jokes were cliched or hackneyed. So I would go, hey, have you ever noticed that, guys are like dogs and girls are like cats? And then he'd come up and he'd just wall up a big chunk of hair off in real time, just like chunk it and then throw it down on the stage and go through my whole act like that. It was hilarious.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's a funny thing because that was so defining, and I imagine without the hair, you probably got recognized a lot less. Right?
Yeah. Well, what got me recognized with my voice? I have people. I had a guy. I'm in the valley somewhere, and a guy goes running past me, like around the corner, and he just goes running past me, and I'm talking to some friends, and then he comes running back. And he goes, I'm sorry to bother you. Could you say something? I go, what? Oh, you're Langley from the X-Files. I go, yeah. He goes, I recognized your voice around the corner, but I didn't know you cut your hair. So I kept running, looking for a long-haired guy. Just like, oh, it must be that short-haired guy. Oh, I'll get him. So that was pretty funny. Yeah.
But what a cool thing to be part of something that was so like culturally significant. I mean,
yeah.
Huge. I mean, my dad and I, we used to watch the hell out of that show. And
and that was sort of the last TV show where you gathered to watch at a specific time, right? It was before, it was just on the cusp of the technological revolution on how we consume entertainment. So it was a thing where you gathered with your family, and it was one show the whole family could agree on, right?
Yeah.
It was the kids loved the goo and the monsters. There was the shippers who loved that relationship, but grandma loved it because they weren't all having sex either. So you could have everybody on the couch together and have a family enjoyable Friday night, then Sunday night on a show. Where can you do that nowadays? Who can agree?
I love too, like how timely it would be, right? Like you'd be like, wow, something like that was just in the news, and like the fringe news, which we loved, right? And and then it would show up. And but yeah, the scariest thing to me though is just how much like right now. I mean, God, we're talking about the FBI disclosing that, well, they've got video of, craft not of this earth. And
and the department releasing all the video of the Air Force, right? Chasing those UFOs. Look at how fast that's going. And they're going, yeah, we don't know what it is. Steve Bassett, right, of the Disclosure Project. He's been going to Washington. He's been lobbying forever going, listen, you got to release what you know about UFOs. And they go, this is what we know. We have no idea. You're like, oh, that's even worse. Jesus.
That's actually the truth, though.
I know, right?
And they probably understand that saying, yeah, they're here is way scarier than, and we've talked to them. We're cool. We got the antidote. We got the death ray. Like we know.
Totally. We're taking technology from them. There's intergalactic trade going on or something like that of ideas. Yeah, no, none of that. It's just this thing going through. And there's a guy I talked to in Minnesota, and he's still up on that this is aerial biology. So these are creatures that sort of live in the upper atmosphere and that can travel But when they come down to our air pressure, where it's 14 pounds per square inch, they sort of can reflect light. And so it becomes these weird, X-File things. So I don't know. It's hard to research that.
In a weird way, the show X-Files was preparing us all for 2020. Which is
was it
really screwed up. I don't know.
Oh my God. So this is the thing, it's one thing to go, okay, don't trust anybody, trust no one, versus everything's fake. And so there's no grounding whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
That's such a tough linear flip, and you didn't realize that you required actually some semblance to go trust no one, but have your feet solidly grounded into the ground of some sort. Like how much that phrase is problematic for a lot of people.
It's a weird time, and people are desperate for truth, and because everything's a lie, everything is. It's so maddening right now. I started as a journalist, right? Like I was a newspaper reporter, and I was a features guy. I was never doing hard news, but at the same time, like you've got to be fair to the story always, and that was 25 years ago, of course, but now you got to take an angle to appeal to a segment of the market. And I know every television show ever does that, but still, man, where do we go? We're running out of like bastions of truth.
I know, right? Where do you go? And so my thing, the speakeasy, there's no spit. I didn't negotiate the angle here.
I trust people who drink on camera. This is truth serum.
I do nothing but drink on camera. I sort of reminded, because I grew up in a small town in Canada. Yeah. It was 200 people in a little town on the prairie, and where my neighbor and I, we didn't agree politically. Mr. Schmidtke would come over with his terrible teeth after bringing in the wheat. Mom hated that guy, but Dad, he would put up with him. But he had a different political idea. But it was everybody, it was 200 people. You had to talk to each other because winter was coming and you otherwise would freeze to death, and nobody would dig you out of your house when the blizzard came and your doors were buried. So you had this ability to accommodate differential viewpoints, right? Yeah. And you go, well, yeah, Mr. Schmidtke's an idiot with his idea about, all the cows are controlling us or whatever, right? But he comes over and has coffee anyway. And so, like you said, the internet now, because it's an information blizzard, we are just glomming onto the pole that we know and not seeking any other alternative, not even alternative, just listening to what your neighbor talks about. And, my neighbor's bumper sticker says QAnon. Never brought it up, but there will be a barbecue one day where it's going to come up, and it's going to be.
You could be like, do you know my past employment, right?
Yeah, right.
I don't usually play this card, but here I am.
But I'm going to say I'm pre-QAnon, and I'm going to tell you QAnon is the thing that we were very not. That's like.
Yeah, Chris Carter could write circles around your ideas. Like he could eat you for breakfast.
Yeah, the fact that it's a guy who's anonymous running that. Yeah, it's not. He's not anonymous. It's a team. It is, whatever. I'm not even going to get into anti-QAnon stuff.
Now, when I was a kid, my mom. Now, I remember in the '80s. I'm a young kid, and there were elections, and my parents told me who they were voting for, and they were like, "Look, don't tell anyone who we voted for. It's nobody's business. We don't talk about politics." Right. And I'm like, let's bring that back.
Let's bring that back and not talking about politics.
Yeah, like you don't talk about it, because honestly, like that's something that will just absolutely divide us.
It's true. And I'm always of the thing. It's like up until this administration, I found it very hard to believe that a semblance of 1,000 bureaucrats or whatever can there's how much taxes I pay or the quality of my water. Yes. Yeah. But my day-to-day mentality and sensibility and mental state cannot be affected unless it is a complete shit show. Then it's hard to read the news. But if it's if it's just government, let them govern. I got my thing to do. There's a lot of art to create. There's a lot of things to explore. There is stories to tell. And this is the first time I'm going, okay, so yes, it does. There is a ripple effect coming from DC that washes through society. Up until 4 years ago, I was in complete, not denial, but I was thinking that myself as a cultural force was creating a ripple that was stronger than some fucking egghead that got elected and was either corrupt or doing it for whatever reason, or just, his dad hated him, whatever. That's right. Over there. And, that's a whole different system, and it's Hollywood for ugly people, right?
Yeah, that's it. Politics. Yeah.
Politics is Hollywood for ugly people.
Right, yeah.
So it's its own enclosed thing, and some semblance of it ripples through us.
Yeah.
No, but now the force of it has come directly in the amount of force I put out as a creative entity, as an artist, right? As an artist, the amount of creative energy I'm throwing out there is now blocked with the amount of I don't know what that energy is coming back. Actually, I don't even have a name for it because I choose
feedback.
Yeah. I choose not to name it, but allow it to wash through me and go back out, sort of thing, so that I'm not embracing it and holding it and having it eat me alive, like some people are.
What's different now, and this is just something I've noticed, is that 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever. Yeah, okay, we were divided. There was divisive politics, but like you said, it didn't have to be like an every damn conversation, right?
Well, exactly. And I could do stand up in the red estates and the blue estates.
Yeah.
My show was improvised. It was an X-Files episode.
Yep.
It was neutral in terms of, I'm not making fun of people. I'm making fun of audience members.
Sure.
In El Paso, Texas, woman bit me on the wrist in the front row because an 11 o'clock show, and she's on her cell phone as I'm coming on stage. And a common gag I do is I grab the cell phone from the audience member, and then I put the microphone, and I have a conversation with whoever the fuck, hilarious. So she goes, I'm trying to talk to my son. And I'm like, I want to talk to your son. This will be funny. And she puts her mouth like that, just bites so hard.
Yeah.
And like a red mark. And I show it, and the whole audience starts booing her. And I said, oh, your son who's in the crib, you checking to see if he can open his Doritos bag that you left him, just tearing into her. Yeah. And the bouncers come, march her out. And it's like this thing. But it wasn't political.
Right.
She was just being
out of her.
No, she's
one person,
being an idiot. So you could still have that kind of conflict, and it's fun. There's lots of comedy to be had. I did get, she drew blood on my wrist, but
And today that would put you in the hospital in quarantine for 2 weeks.
Well, and it'd be a news story, and it'd be, assault and blah, blah, blah. Everybody would just escalate this thing out of control, as opposed to a comedian's being a bit of an ass because he perceived you in the audience being a bit of an ass. And so, the ass scale escalated slightly.
Right.
The ass scale?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We all know the ass scale.
It's quite high right now.
Right.
So, I don't know. I don't know if comedy clubs were the thing that people were using as a release, but
yeah. That's digging in deep. This is a Marty Robbins song. Down in the
I got bit in the wrist.
An audience girl. Well done, Sandra.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Oh my god, I want to hear that song now.
Yeah, no, that's Marty Robbins. He was the original gangsta for sure. The OG.
A lot of rhinestone suits, though, if I recall, didn't he?
He might have had those. Yeah.
Okay.
So the podcast is still going all these years later.
Jesus,
you're creating.
creating. There's a couple of projects coming up that I can't talk about. Hello.
That's what I was hoping you'd say.
Yeah. I'm flying to Poland to do a movie. I know.
Can you go? Like,
well, that's the thing. I can go. My friend in England wrote it, and he got Polish producers to fund it. And it's about the life of Sigmund Freud.
Oh, cool.
And so I play an American psychologist who apparently was quite a thorn in his side through his life. So I have some scenes, but I'm going to, I think I could fly to the UK and quarantine at his house for 14 days.
Yep.
And then from there, we travel together. And I don't know if we can fly, but Poland and Britain is one of the, what do they call those? These not
pod countries or whatever.
Bridge places.
Got it.
So you can bridge to Poland,
yeah,
and Poland can bridge back to London. So we are either going to fly, or he said we take the train through the Channel
to France. Yeah.
Yeah, come out, or in Belgium, because Belgium has a direct train directly to Warsaw. So.
And just like 1850, it's going to take you 4 weeks to get there.
I know, right? Oh my God. I know. I tell everybody we are living in 3 epochs of the 30s, right?
Yeah.
We are baking bread and making our own ice cream like it's 1830. We are economically in a depression like the 1930s, but we're all shopping and doing shows and connected to the internet like it's 2030. Yeah. So, it's like this, it's the 30s across the board.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, wait till you have my basil Pernod.
Basil is in basil?
Basil? I'm sorry. I'm from Canada. We call it basil.
Sorry.
Yeah, Belanger. Yes, basil. Basil.
Yes.
You take the basil, a lot of it, and you crush it to its essential oil. And then you use the Pernod liqueur, which is a licorice flavored alcoholic beverage. And you fuse those together. And then after you do your custard, so you have to do the your bake, as it were, is you heat your milk and cream to exactly 170 for 2.5 minutes. Then whisk it in partial chunks with your 4 egg yolks, so that you make this rich custard, but you don't cook it into a like an eggy mash. And then you pour it back in, reheat it, and then you infuse it with the basil Pernod, and you have an ice cream that is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I can't keep that one up. But I'm making a bright lemon ice cream this week for friends. Cardamom, the spice that you
use it in apple pies.
Cardamom alone.
Yep.
If it's sugars, and if you use a dark, rich honey, particularly like the one I get from Ontario, oh my God, a cardamom ice cream, that is ridiculous. How many other flavors am I going to go through?
No, that's amazing. I use, when I make apple pies, I use cardamom. That's an Indian spice. Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. It can
Step
really
back a bit. What do you mean you make apple pies?
I live in New England. I have apple trees. They're right over there.
What? I thought that was a myth.
I'm an orchardist.
No, you're not.
I have 2 trees.
Shut it.
Both
apple?
Well, not only that, they are, so to make an apple tree, I don't know if you know this.
Know.
When you eat an apple that's really delicious and sweet, right? If you plant those seeds, that apple may not necessarily grow. A tree will grow and the fruit might be terrible. The way you get a good tasting tree is you graft it. So you take like a good tree that you know is good, and you graft it in. Both trees have 4 different types of apples grafted into it.
Shut up.
And they got to cross pollinate, because if you have just one kind of apple tree, the males and females may not be there. You need to cross pollinate. So
and you need bees to do that.
You need bees, and we have bees. It's okay. And the apples are amazing, and you make pie and you use cardamom, and it's amazing.
Now, did you do the grafting? You did not.
No. Whoa, hey.
Whoa, back it up with that.
I dug the hole.
So what species, what variety are you eating?
It's like Jonna Gold's, Macintosh.
What?
Yeah, they're all in. It's amazing. You can get this done.
How many bushels do you get? Like, what do you get? Bags of apples?
No. So each tree, and keep in mind, I've only had them for like 4 or 5 years, so they're just starting to produce. But you might get like 30 or 40 on a tree.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a thing. So you're making apple pie.
I'm making apple pie, and I'll send you some apples, and you can make it into some kind of
apple ice cream is a thing.
Apple ice cream. Dean, we're out of time.
What? I just started. I'm still in the middle of my beer. What the hell? Got to chug this back for
Any shameless plugs you want to get in? You don't have to chug it.
Let's see.
Chill
Pack Hollywood.
Yep, check that out.
Follow me on Twitter, D Haglund. Instagram, Dean Haglund.
There's that.
I'm gonna. You know what? I have all my old artwork from when I was a kid. My family home just sold, so they found all these boxes of the stuff I drew as a teenager and as a child, and so I'm going to scan all of that. It's like 6,000 images that will all go up inside of 2 weeks
on Instagram. Nice.
So that's my September project.
Well, that's good because we don't have much else to do until we can get to Poland.
I know, right?
I know.
Yeah. Jesus.
Well, it was wonderful seeing you. Hey, quick plug. Folks, if you guys are staying up late tonight, I'm on Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
Whoa.
The second George. Yes, I will. And that's I'm from the midnight to 2 a.m. Pacific hour.
Fantastic.
Great. I'll just keep drinking until then. I should be fine.
Should be. I think it'd be okay.
Hey, George Norrie. Woo!
I'll tell you about conspiracies.
I love you, man. So, there's that. And then go follow Dean, listen to his podcast and all that other stuff. We appreciate you guys being here tonight and hanging out with us. It was so nice. Good talking to you again, man. I appreciate it.
Likewise. It's been too long.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Hey, until next time, of course, please take it easy. Right on.
That's me.